Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I'm Simon, and today we're unpacking something that is just absolutely fascinating. If you scroll through social media right now, you'd probably think wealth is, well, loud, right? You picture these 22-year-old influencers renting Lambos, splashing designer labels all over the place, and posting videos from luxury vacations. But here's the thing, that is just the illusion of wealth. The actual reality? Real wealth is incredibly quiet. Seriously, the millionaire next door is probably driving a 10-year-old Honda, wearing a plain t-shirt, and just mowing his own lawn. The people who are actually getting rich, they often don't even feel rich in that traditional flashy sense. Why? Because they're way too busy doing the right, honestly kind of boring things day after day. Saving, investing, building. They just don't care about looking wealthy. Turns out, actually getting rich is pretty boring.
So, let me hit you with a few rapid-fire questions right out of the gate. Are you secretly getting rich, or are you just looking rich? Are you actually building a fortune, or are you just building an incredibly expensive lifestyle? Okay, let's really dive into this, because the answer might completely surprise you. In fact, stick with me here, because in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why getting that big pay raise at work might actually be making you poorer in the long run. Crazy, right?
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, Mind the Wealth Gap.
To really unpack the psychology of wealth, let's meet our two archetypes. Think of them as two stickmen navigating the exact same world. We've got Richard, and we've got Poor Peter. And watching how these two handle the exact same financial reality is going to completely change how you view your own bank account. So both Richard and Peter are pulling in the exact same income, $75,000 a year, but their spending habits? Totally different universes. Richard lives well below his means, spending just $55,000. Peter, on the other hand, well, he spends $80,000. Peter's driving the brand new luxury sedan. He just signed a lease on this incredible downtown apartment with a rooftop pool, and man, to everyone on the outside, he looks so successful. He's the guy everyone is secretly jealous of. But listen, the math doesn't care about the rooftop pool. The math is cold. Peter is secretly drowning in debt, just relying on credit to bridge the gap every single month. Underneath it all, he is entirely broke.
Now, the absolute crucial factor separating them comes down to $20,000. That is Richard's financial gap. And you guys, $20,000 isn't just a number on a balance sheet, it is a literal shield. Think of this gap as breathing room. This margin is what actually creates options in your daily life. It means you're not sweating bullets when you scan your groceries at the checkout. It means if your boss suddenly becomes super toxic, you actually have the power to just walk away and find something better without facing immediate financial ruin. It's exactly why Richard can save, invest, and ruthlessly say no to things that just don't align with his long-term goals.
And hey, this is where that open loop I mentioned earlier comes in. Both guys pull off a stellar year at work, and boom, they get a raise to $80,000. What happens next dictates their entire future. For Peter, lifestyle creep absorbs every single penny of that raise instantly. The very second that deposit hits his checking account, he goes out and upgrades to an even more expensive $2,200 a month apartment just because he feels he deserves it. But Richard has developed a total immunity to lifestyle inflation. Instead of upgrading his life, he actually optimizes it. He negotiates better insurance, cuts out subscriptions he's not using, and lowers his overall spending to $48,000. Then he funnels that massive extra $32,000 straight into his investments. So Richard is quietly building generational wealth, while Peter is just building a shinier, way more expensive trap.
Moving right along to Section 2, Time and the Buffer.
Okay, the next major separator between these two comes down to how they handle the inevitable crises that life just loves to throw at us. Picture this. It's a random Tuesday morning. Peter is driving to work when, bam, his transmission completely blows. Smoke is pouring out from under the hood. Now he has exactly $300 to his name, and his credit cards are totally maxed out. His stomach drops, he's in an absolute panic, sweating, trying to figure out how he's going to get to work, how he's going to afford rent, and how on earth he's going to pay for this tow truck. It is a full-blown life crisis. Meanwhile, on that exact same Tuesday, Richard spills coffee on his laptop and completely fries the motherboard. So what does he do? He just logs into his quiet $20,000 high-yield savings account, transfers $1,000 over, drives to the store, buys a new laptop, and gets right back to his day. No panic, no stress, his financial buffer just turned a massive crisis into a minor 10-minute inconvenience.
And this massive difference in emotional regulation, it completely dictates their investment strategies too. Richard relies on the incredibly boring, decade-long patience of just ignoring market fluctuations. He steadily and quietly auto-invests $500 a month into broad market index funds. He doesn't even check the stock market app. He sleeps like a baby. Peter, though, heavily burdened by all that debt, is constantly stressed out and frantic. He is desperately chasing an overnight success to come save him. So he's up at 2 a.m. with bloodshot eyes, staring at candlestick charts, day trading volatile crypto coins, launching failed dropshipping stores, and just bouncing from one exhausting trend to the next. He's literally burning out, just hoping for a lottery ticket.
So let's fast forward 20 years. What does that boring, relentless, automated consistency actually produce? $350,000. Yep, that is the shocking net worth Richard has quietly accumulated. He didn't have to guess which stock was going to blow up. He didn't have to time the market. He just let the silent, heavy-lifting magic of compounding interest do the work for him in the background, all while he went out and actually enjoyed his life.
The chasm between them is just absolutely staggering. Richard stands tall with $350,000 working for him. Peter, who chased every single quick win imaginable, the guy who traded his sleep for stress, is sitting at a mere $60,000, armed with absolutely nothing but a collection of very hard, very expensive lessons. This highlights exactly why compounding patience will always beat the frantic, exhausting jump from trend to trend. Quiet wealth is automatic and inevitable. Loud wealth is just a mirage.
Which brings us to Section 3, the ownership mindset.
All right, we're shifting into the deeply psychological science of wealth now. This is all about taking extreme control of your life and completely tuning out the noise of society. Let's say a coworker, maybe a guy in accounting that nobody even really likes, pulls up to the office in a massive, flashy $50,000 new truck. Peter instantly feels a wave of inadequacy and FOMO. He immediately starts comparing his life. So, to compensate, what does he do? He goes straight to the dealership and signs his life away on an identical truck at a punishing 7% interest rate just to keep up appearances. Now he's got this massive monthly anchor weighing him down. Meanwhile, Richard proudly pulls into the parking lot in his ultra-reliable $15,000 used Toyota, completely unbothered.
When Richard sees that coworker showing off the new truck, he doesn't feel a single ounce of jealousy. Not one bit. He just shrugs and thinks, hope that makes him happy, and then he goes right back to his work. That's it. He has built a total psychological armor around his finances. He feels zero envy. He is completely immune to peer pressure, brilliant marketing campaigns, and the fear of missing out. He's building his life according to his own strict timeline and his own deeply held values.
Let's look at another scenario to see how this extreme ownership changes literally everything. Let's say both of our guys make $65,000, but they live in a very high-cost city. Now, let's be real for a second. Surviving in a major city on that salary is legitimately difficult. Peter has perfectly valid excuses. Rent is totally out of control, inflation is up, student loans are killing him. But here's the catch. While his complaints are 100% valid, validity does not build wealth. His excuses actually paralyze him. Richard, though, he doesn't complain. He takes extreme ownership. He optimizes. He gets a roommate to slash his housing costs in half. He starts biking to the office instead of paying ridiculous fees for parking. He meal preps on Sundays. And the result of this extreme ownership, Richard manages to invest $85,000 over a few years. Peter is left with just $4,000 and a whole lot of very articulate stories about why none of it is his fault.
Because Richard takes full ownership, he's able to set up a brilliantly boring background system. Step 1. Automated savings. He sets up a direct deposit split with his HR department so a percentage of his paycheck goes straight into his investment account before he ever even sees it. Step 2. Automated bills. Every utility, every fixed cost is paid automatically on the very first of the month. Step 3. An annual portfolio rebalance. Once a year, he spends maybe 15 minutes adjusting his investments. That is his entire financial strategy. He has successfully turned money from a daily, exhausting source of anxiety into silent background noise, freeing up all of his mental energy for his family, his hobbies, and his career.
And that leads us perfectly to Section 4, the ultimate flex, time.
This is the absolute peak realization of quiet wealth. It's the exact moment you stop chasing dollars and you start chasing freedom. Now, most people get this wrong. Do you? Most people think getting rich means hoarding every single penny you can find. But Richard understands the true value of his money. He gladly pays a house cleaner $150 to deep clean his apartment. Why? Because in doing so, he literally breaks the chains of his weekend obligations. He buys back 3 precious, uninterrupted hours to take his kids to the park. He uses his wealth to purchase his time. Peter, still clinging to that hoarding mindset, spends his entire Saturday morning scrubbing baseboards and cleaning toilets just to save a buck. He feels incredibly busy and productive, sure, but by Sunday night, he is totally exhausted and has had exactly 0 free time.
So I want to end this explainer with a highly provocative question for you to really chew on today. Are you buying things or are you buying time? Because real wealth isn't just about what's sitting in your checking account or what kind of flashy car is parked in your driveway. True wealth is about how free you feel when you wake up in the morning realizing that your schedule belongs entirely to you. It's a quiet choice that you have to make every single day. So take a hard look at your own daily habits and sound off in the comments below. Which side of the battle are you currently winning? Are you playing Richard's game or Peter's? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building that quiet wealth.